We take a 20-hour flight to Morocco, flying first class on both occasions. I will unpack how that went. We went to go check out the World Rally Championships in Morocco. While this raptor was doing donuts, I got a chance to interview the Sainz scene.
Back every time you turn on that key. Suited up because I am ready.
I got a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to drive in a real World Rally car. And no, you're not going to judge me. What to expect on the road, trying out the Moroccan food, checking in at one of the best hotels. We also get to try the ever-famous Moroccan tea. We also visit a place called Young Switzerland. And this part here is the part where you need to guess what is happening here. I will tell you later in the video what you're looking at. For now, let's go to Morocco.
So, and we're about to take off in a bit. Say hello, Mikey. Mike the Traveler, the Explorer.
Yeah, let's go, boy. Morocco.
Off to Morocco. We're going via Doha. It's a 11-hour flight.
So we were flying from South Africa to Morocco, but unfortunately there is no direct flight, so you need to fly to Qatar, Doha first. And boy, did we not get impressed with the cabins. Ford was flying us business class all the way from South Africa into Morocco.
So I am on the flight and I didn't even check my ticket. Only now I realized that we're flying business class.
It is clear that I was very impressed with business class because it was my first time flying international business class. And boy, this is fully kitted. You've got your chargers, you've got your slots for your headphones, which they provide. And you also have that thing that looks like a joystick, which is like a remote control for your TV. And you also do have a toiletry bag that they gave you that has some things you can use as you wash up, because this was going to take about 8 to 9 hours on the flight. And you also have a reclining seat where you can actually sleep flat, a table that pulls out and comes all the way to you for you to place your food, your drinks, or everything else you're gonna have. You have a wireless charger there. Guys, can you believe we are reviewing a cabin? I know we are pushing. And then these are the headphones you can expect to get. They also offered me champagne, guys. They will offer you everything here. They gave me a blanket. They gave me an extra pillow. They also showed us how we can actually lie flat and sleep when you're traveling that far.
Guys, I'm being offered everything you can think of.
And yes, you were being offered every single thing you can think of to make your flight very pleasant. We were flying through Qatar Airways, and I was quite impressed with their screen. With this screen, you can actually see what's going on outside by clicking onto that screen, and it shows you different angles of the camera from underneath, from what the pilot is seeing in front, the back, and the sides, which is really, really impressive. When you are flying that long, trust me, you're going to need a coping mechanism that's going to give you something to fall asleep. And I ordered whiskey. And no, that was not the only option you could pick from. You could still have champagne, wine, red, white, blends, you name it all. But I opted for whiskey because it's always my drink of choice. They kept on bringing food, which I really enjoyed. I could not hide my excitement and how privileged I felt being in there. It was almost time for dinner, and I ordered myself some lamb shank that I could enjoy with mash and some veggies. I also used and saw the smallest Tabasco you can think of. Everything these guys serve you into this flight makes you feel like it's worth you paying top dollar to fly first class. The flight was already taking off, and we were already passing Kenya, Nairobi, Addis Ababa, and I pulled out my blanket to start falling asleep because I could feel that I was already tired at that time. So I knew that we needed to get to Qatar around 11 in the evening, and then early hours of the morning, that's when we were gonna fly to Morocco. And they kept on bringing more food, but I was not complaining because what else was I gonna do? And we arrived in Qatar.
We have arrived in Qatar.
We were gonna be in Qatar for about 2 hours before we catch our next flight. The airport was really big, and when I say big, it was huge. Because we had some time, I decided to walk around and see how the airport looks like, and it was really impressive. Also, I saw people taking videos and pictures next to this big teddy bear, and I figured let me also go take picture. I don't know if it's Dragon Ball Z or this one. It was time to get into the next flight, and the next flight was operated by Air Morocco by Qatar Airways. Also, it was a beautiful cabin that had TV screens. We also found a new toiletry bag and a number of similar things you saw on the previous flight. Also first class, and you could fly and sleep flat. So on this flight, we're expecting to travel for about 7 to 8 hours. Inside of the toiletry bag, you could expect to find socks. You got a bit of a lip balm. I also got something for my face. I think it just says facial moisturizer and a number of other cool stuff that you need as essentials, including a blindfold. We also found headphones inside of the cabin that you can use to listen to music, play some series, and a number of cool stuff. Also, on the first flight there, they actually offered me pajamas, which they said I could keep. The seat can be adjusted in many positions. I slept for about 3 to 5 hours.
We've arrived in Morocco and we're about to disembark. So yeah.
We got our bags, and thankfully everything was still in order and our bags were not lost. We got picked up by the coolest guy in the industry. His name is Basson, and everyone in the industry knows him for putting together some travel itineraries for the motoring industry.
In Morocco, and we are in the parking lot, and we're eating some jams, but I still need to get my mind get used to left-hand side driving. I'm seeing cars there.
And what you're looking at in front of you is a Ford Ranger Raptor, and it does everything a Raptor does, except that this one is actually a diesel. And I know what you're thinking, maybe we should have it in South Africa. Not sure.
We're going to have big problems here, because I just thought that Mike is driving because he just came on the right hand side, only to find out there was a big fault at the factory and the steering wheel is this side and Gideon turns out to be driving. Interesting times ahead, guys. Interesting times ahead. How long was that ferry from Spain to?
It's like an hour and a half on the boat. Smooth process. Like,
You actually drove the one.
no.
So Gideon and his team drove the cars from Spain. They flew into Spain and drove the cars from Spain into the ferry. And he says the ferry was about an hour and a half, smooth process, and they drove the cars into Morocco. Also, the first thing that's going to remind you are in Morocco is that you are going to see a lot of Moroccan flags on this video. Morocco has flags everywhere. I don't know if this is to increase the patriotism of the country, but you will see flags either in pairs or in threes placed randomly along everywhere you're gonna be going. Another thing that caught my attention here is the less number of Chinese vehicles that you will find. You will see one or two couple of German cars. Also, the robots here, or the traffic lights, are quite low in many areas and not as high. And I cannot go without speaking about this. There is so many French cars on the road. Renault is running a monopoly in this country when it comes to cars, because it's Renault everywhere. As you can see, Gideon is putting money back into his wallet. Our currency versus the dirhams is just double what you have. If you're gonna be buying a burger for 45 rand, you're just gonna be buying it for 90 rand in Morocco. Simple as that. Everything else that you're gonna be buying is just going to be double the price. This is what you can expect to see on the streets, on the biggest highways in Morocco. And Morocco has a lot of Renault Dusters. Even the police are using Renault Dusters. There will be some Range Rovers popping in around Casablanca. But here we were driving to the city of Fez, where there was a lot of cops along the road. We stopped for some comfort break and to get a bit of a snack. And this is that Raptor we spoke about. It looks exactly like a Raptor, but everything about this car is a Raptor except the engine. We also saw some really odd scenes where camels and horses were being transported in a Hyundai H100. Again, this is what us driving into the city of Fez. The taxis here are painted red. All of them are in red, and all of them are Renault Sandero. We arrived in the city of Fez and we got a gentleman to come and pick up our bags from the car. And one thing you will notice as we walk through these buildings, you will see on the outside it doesn't look as great, but as soon as you go on the inside, it looks amazing. And here's the reason why. These beautiful buildings are designed on the inside to look very luxurious, but on the outside they must look very, very basic. And the reason for that was they didn't want the have-nots back in the day not to feel that they are poor or they don't have enough. So everyone would look the same on the outside, and they didn't want to flaunt their wealth. But on the inside, you will see all the wealth. Here, I'm being taken to my room. We're only sleeping here only for one night and then moving into a different hotel in the next few days. Also, the stairs are quite narrow and the buildings are quite old, so it's quite understandable. They didn't have a lot of lifts at the time.
Red. Yeah, the red suitcase and the small one. Yeah. So I'm going to my room, and it's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful hotel. So let's go see how the room looks like. So here is the walls. Basin, hand wash, mirror, some natural air lights coming in from there. You've got a nice robe, actually two of those, a bathtub, the business dryer. Not bad. I just want to take off this shirt. Yes. So here's my room. We've got air conditioning. We've got the bed, some art on the wall, TV, information remotes, and some 2 chairs. So we are going to be having some drinks and catch the sunset. So I'll be showing you guys that. Yeah. Okay. So we're in the rooftop, and this is how it looks like. It looks really, really, really proper. Proper Moroccan summer. Or proper Moroccan sun. So the sun will go on the other side for the most beautiful view. And exactly I'm gonna do it. Wow. Look at this. Look at this. Just buildings and buildings and buildings and buildings everywhere. You can tell it's a beautiful day. On the first night when we were there, the sun went down at around 8 o'clock, which that would obviously be around after 9 o'clock in South African time, because Morocco is about an hour and a couple of minutes behind. I'm still really much fascinated about the idea of having these buildings look the same on the outside to avoid the disparity of the have-nots. And on the inside, these buildings do have a really particular design, and you can see, because most of these buildings we were told they're built from the 1400s. They even have a little water fountain in the middle with some rose petals, and we ended up in the rooftop where this man was preparing for us to have our late lunch and some dinner. And 8 o'clock, that's where we all descended to go have some dinner and met new friends.
So, but the whole point was to not show wealth and the people that don't
Exactly. So someone that has crazy money
must not feel that
the disparity.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So as soon as you walk out the house, everyone's the same.
Wow, that is interesting. I learned something. Thanks.
There you go, new facts.
Yeah.
Stay tuned tomorrow for another Moroccan fun fact.
Dinner was served and we were served chicken and veggies, but let me tell you something. Moroccan people eat everything with veggies, but I guess it's a very healthy culture. Also, if you're wondering who are the people who are sitting with on the table, most of them work for Ford Racing from around the world, the UK, Australia, and some of them are content creators from France, Spain, and in and around the world. The morning came and we had to wake up for breakfast. I woke up in the morning with a Moroccan yogurt or yogurt that has a Moroccan or Arabic writing on it, and it was quite delicious, very, very soft. I used Google Translate to see what's written there.
Whoa, look at that. Tim is now showing off.
Authentic Moroccan.
Wow, in a glass even.
Yeah. You're gonna be a fan of Tino.
Thank you, my brother. Appreciate it.
Breakfast was served and it was time for us to go and see the market. This man here called Momo was the guy who was going to be our tour guide for the day as we took a walk into the Moroccan Medinas and going to see the market and see how the neighborhood is.
Big city, lots of streets. Currently they've got small passages that lead, and we can cover streets that are about 8,000 something. So you don't want to get lost here.
Look, the cats. Cats are well looked after here. We have street cats and home cats. Of course, because of the old system of canalization and plumbing, so the cats are needed to tackle the mice and the rats. And we never had plague in Fez for 12 centuries. Yes, please give way. Give way, give way, give way.
And yes, cats are really looked after here. There's literally cats everywhere around the city because cats here help them chase away mice and rats. And because of how congested the buildings are, it does really make sense. And they buy food for them and feed them. Here's another Moroccan flag. Also here, they were explaining to us how they were making these pots from hand, and they are hand hammered until they look like that. Really, really huge talent if you ask me.
And speaking of talent, what you're seeing on your screen now is not people doing laundry. That is a tannery. This is where leather is made. If you guessed it right in the beginning of the video, yes, this is right. It's a tannery. They even gave us mint to start smelling when we're walking around here and viewing the place, because the smell can be very, very bad. Because remember, this is leather or skin that comes from animals. There's a bit of debris of blood and a couple of other things that they have to remove, sometimes using chemicals. And once they've processed the leather, they'll leave it out to dry out before it goes on to the second stage. But the people you're seeing there are processing different kinds of leathers, from lamb to your cows and many other things. They are so used to it, and these people are truly talented. Around the same place, you also find a place that sells leather bags, leather jackets, and everything that's made of leather. And the people here are super, super talented. I can tell you the quality of these people's work, they can really match the top Italian guys if they get great marketing behind them. We also went back into the market where Momo was demonstrating to us a fake hat as well as an original velvet hat. Apparently an original one can cost you up to 300 dirhams, while the fake one could be about 50 dirhams. People here sell fresh food that people are not going to buy for tomorrow. People go into this market to buy fresh food that they're going to consume the same day. Also, the people that make mats and they make hats and they sell food were quite very friendly to us. We went back to have lunch, and again, Moroccan people really love vegetables. Everything you're seeing on the table here did not have any meat at all. It was vegetables all around. And they will prepare them in different ways. They will fry them, they'll cook them and feed you. We are off to parking Voices, Ifrane, Morocco. Jesus Christ, did I leave my sunglasses behind?
Another fun fact about Morocco is that it's only 14 kilometers away from Europe. You can go through a ferry that Gidio told us at the beginning of the video. The population of Morocco is about 38 million people, and this is since 2024. But I noticed that there was a lot of old people on the streets, and I asked where were the young people. And apparently young people, as soon as they start working, they move into Europe because of the pay gap that is only divided by 14 kilometers. So I sort of understand. We're now at the center of Ifrane, where we were in for a surprise from Ford Racing.
Ifrane.
Yeah.
We are in Ifrane, and we are going to be taking a drive with the drivers, so we're gonna get an opportunity to, you know, like get inside of a car and just interview the drivers and everything. So as you guys can see, that it's all open around us. So let's see how that turns out. So we are getting a ride in the cars, and it's so exciting because we're going to be wearing the suits as well as get into the car and get a feel of the car inside of the car while they're moving. That is exciting. Not everybody gets that chance. So I'm really.
So what Ford Racing did here is that they did not tell us exactly how our day was gonna go. So as soon as we found out that we were actually driving with the actual drivers that are competing in the World Rally Championships, guys, this is big.
Suited up because I am ready for my lap, my hot lap inside of a rally car, and I think I'm going to be driving with Matthias. He's one of the drivers, the main drivers. So I will introduce you guys to him, and you guys will see how the pop of how things are going to go. So I'm excited for it.
Yes, I looked ready and I looked like I was pumped up to do this thing, but in the next couple of clips you will be able to see that, you know what, when it comes to World Rally Championships and performing on gravel roads and that are uncharted, because remember, these guys are traveling at very high speeds. Even though the cars are limited at 180 kilometers per hour, they all have the same amount of power, but they're driving on roads that they have never driven before. And what makes things even worse is that there are a lot of obstacles on the road that they need to avoid. This is where the works of the engineers come into play in making sure that the cars can handle all the different kinds of terrains. I was all suited up and I was ready to do this thing. This was a once in a lifetime opportunity. Think of F1 but off-road. This is exactly what's happening, and we are sitting with these guys in their cars. Guys, I am really grateful for this opportunity. There's a lot of buttons in this car, and they all have some work to do. Where I'm sitting here is usually where the co-driver will be sitting, and he will be navigating the route using a navigator so that the driver can only focus on the road. When there's a left turn coming up, right turn, an obstacle or a sharp left turn or stuff like that, Are you sure you guys are not forcing them to do this? I just took a lab with tears, and one word for it is local. Bonkers, crazy, exhilarating. These people, they do this voluntarily every year.
Alright, I've sent you.
So we're done for the day. It's time to check in at the hotel, have a bit of a breather, maybe have a drink, and check in and relax a bit. I'll show you guys how the hotel looks like, and this is how the cars line up, and we're heading back to the hotel.
Okay, guys, I'm going to ask everybody to jump back.
Now, I thought let me show you guys the legendary Ford Bronco. This Bronco you're looking at right here packs a 2.7 liter petrol engine, and this car obviously doesn't come in different trims, but you do also have one that starts at 2.3 liter all the way up. It's highly customizable. You can remove the doors, and this is a perfect alternative to what we always know about the Jeep Wrangler, that it's customizable. You can remove the doors and the suspension packs, Fox shocks and stuff like that. But yeah, that's the Bronco. We can only hope we'll get it in South Africa at one point, because it does share a platform with a Ford Ranger, but we know our Ranger is a right-hand drive, so we hope that they can bring it home as well. Now we're arriving at the hotel to go and check in. This hotel is called Michelin in Ifrane, and we were all checking in. It was a fancy hotel. This place does remind me of Sun City, if I'm really being honest. We got offered champagne as we arrived, but because obviously some people don't drink alcohol, they also gave you some iced tea, because tea is quite a big beverage in the country of Morocco. Let's go check out the rooms and check in. What do you think, bro?
I think it's the best hotel I stay ever.
I think it's the best hotel I stay ever myself. It's a beautiful hotel. This is the name of the hotel, Resorts and Golf. Whoa. Wow. You've got a couch there. You've got a whole lounge basically. Nice ottoman, table, fruits, TV. I love the light there. That is really cool. And then you do have a table as well for your meetings. Yes, I'll be having lots of meetings. Coffee station. Oh, just switch off the lights. And then this is where the wardrobe is basically. And then this is where the toilet is for the business. And then basin. Where is the shower? Look at that. More TV, workstation, heater, beautiful curtains if you ask me. Really nice curtains. And bed. This is gorgeous. Shower. Beautiful bathtub. Sink basin. Mirror. Gift magoti. And another toilet. So they got those jewel ones. Cool. How beautiful is this resort? This is at the backyard of this resort. So the people I'm with are there, sitting there, going to have some drinks. Looks like we've got complimentary drinks. There's a beautiful pool, and we're catching the sunset. So gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Yeah. So look at all this. So this is just testing so that you can
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
testing. So I'm testing with my new friend Fish, all the way from the UK, and we are in Morocco in a palace. And
Actually in a palace.
Actually in a palace, because we got suites. We don't have rooms yet.
No, we don't. No,
And
rooms
we're
don't
having
exist.
a mojito
Yeah.
and a beer.
Yeah. Cheers.
And cheers.
Cheers to Ford, innit? Don't drink and drive.
Hope you enjoyed that. But the fun doesn't stop there. We've got a really busy day for you tomorrow as well, which should be great fun. And then obviously you're going to see the trucks in action on Sunday. So lots and lots to be getting on with.
Day 1, no alcohol. Day 2, no alcohol. Day 1, no alcohol. Day 1, no alcohol. Day 1.
Rise and shine, good morning. I still wake up in Morocco, this time in a region called Ifrane. And yesterday was fun-packed, full of energy, as you guys saw. But today things are going to be slightly different. We're going to be interviewing the drivers. We're going to get an opportunity to speak to them and also spend some time around where the race is going to be happening on Sunday. So I'm quite looking forward to that. So there's a lot of things that happened on this trip that seem like they were normal, but they were really not normal. And I'm referring to the opportunity we're about to get here. Carlos Sainz Sr. is a world-renowned World Rally Championship driver alongside Nani and many other drivers that we're going to meet on this day. Not everybody gets a chance to do this, and I'm grateful for that.
Not everybody is allowed. Even some journalists are not allowed. We are allowed here because we are handpicked, because we worked with Ford so well. And
Here in Morocco, it's more dry.
it's more dry, yes.
More rocky area, and it is great.
Maybe that's why they call it Morocco, because it's more rocky.
More rocky. Good one.
Thank you for your time, Nani, and we wish you good luck for the race. And not that much you need much of it, because you've got a truly talented team around you. But everything to help you make this race much better.
Thank you for coming.
All the best, eh?
Thank you.
And thank you for the ride yesterday, voluntarily, because it requires such a great skill set for someone to navigate that, enjoy it, and still compete. And how much of what you do requires talent, and how much does it require hard work?
Talent versus hard work.
Yeah, because you could have both and still fail because you're not focused on them. You could have one talent and not have the hard work, and maybe have a short career. You know what I mean?
I would say the hard work is probably higher.
Yeah.
Because I think with hard work comes talent.
I like that. With hard work comes talent.
Yeah, so a lot of, if you drive enough, you could probably become a race car driver too. If you work really, 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 really hard, you know. So a lot of times it's, working hard, getting the seat time, which isn't easy, of course, but the more you race, the more you drive, the more you work hard and do it, the better you're always going to
Also, in racing, you guys call it seat time.
Yeah. Some people, of course, have like the, not everyone is Carlos Sainz, of course. He's the man. So he has like that talent that not many people can get. You can't. Just the natural talent. So, oh my gosh. An experimental modification. Everyone has the same amount of power, so I really want to take that out and like really unleash it.
And send it.
Yeah, full send.
Show people the real power of a
yeah,
right?
which I mean is crazy to say because you guys rode in the car, so you see how could you want more power? But us drivers, we always say more power, more power.
I've been asking everybody the same question because I know I'm going to get a different answer from different people because of one, experience, age, and things you've been through. There is no doubt, especially up until yesterday, because we got an opportunity to get inside of the cars and we realized how dangerous this is. But obviously you do it with ease because one, you love the sport and everything. How much of what you do requires talent and how much of it requires hard work?
You cannot be one of the best without talent. You cannot be one of the best without hard work. So require both.
Okay.
And
on what scale?
No, I think you need both at the same level. The rest is also the last push is the passion. The last push is your determination. The last push is your attention to the detail. The last push is your discipline.
Your discipline.
I'm still enjoying.
You're still enjoying.
I think the people around me will feel immediately if this is disappearing, because to compete at the top level at my age, you need to give more than 100%.
Perfect. Thank you, and I wish you the best for this specific rally.
So after the interviews were done, it was time for us to go have lunch. And again, as expected, there was lots and lots of veggies because that is what Moroccan people do. But also, this time we were eating with the drivers and the rest of the crew because they bring their own chef across the world when they travel so that they can cook food with high protein and all of that.
So this is the Fez Stadium. This is a football stadium rather, where the Moroccan Fez team plays in the local league. And there, hopefully we'll be able to translate that. But yeah, everything else is set up outside of the stadium.
And shortly after that, it was time for us to say thank you and good luck to the drivers, as they were going to have their first prologue, or the race was going to be starting the next day. So here we were going to be given an opportunity to go and test out the track that you guys saw me clinching for my life. So I'm going to be driving a left-hand steering car for the first time in my life. And it's going to be a Raptor or a Bronco, one of the two. And it's going to be very interesting because we are doing a challenge to get a bit of an idea of how a rally car driver feels when they are navigating through routes, because more often than not, they use tablets or they use books that have routes and everything that shows them when to slow down, after how many kilometers. The co-driver needs to let them know we're going to be turning left in so many kilometers. And if you go off route, you also get penalized. So you might take a wrong turn when you're not supposed to. So yeah, it's gonna be the closest thing to feeling like a real race car driver, similar to the video you saw where I was freaking out. But we are going to be using good speeds. We're not going to be trying to go over the limit. It was all fun, and one of the guys from Morocco who owns a Raptor diesel decided to have a little fun with it. Like I said before, this might be a Raptor diesel, may not have that specific Raptor sound, but it does exactly everything a Raptor can do. I'm hungry. So quick breakfast and then we're off. So we had checked out of our hotel, which was a beautiful stay. And we cannot thank Ford Racing enough. And I personally cannot thank Ford South Africa for recognizing me and taking me out to such a beautiful place, and also a lot to learn and all of that. So we were on our way to go see the cars one last time as they get into action. As they prologue, we took a drive down there. Also, guys, Morocco has so many toll gates. Very much toll gates everywhere. But nothing to complain about since our currency is not that bad. So a toll gate of $15 would be $30. So nothing too bad. We now had arrived in the remote areas of Morocco where the cars are going to be passing. And this was one of the corners. But also, guys, a Raptor has so much aura. Wow. This is the best position we find ourselves in to see the cars coming through. And the cars are coming that way. They're going to pass closer to where we're standing. And I'm going to be showing you guys that action in full. As I said, this is where the cars are going to pass, and we have a nice view from where the car starts and where it's going to pass. And this is one of the corners where you could catch the action with all of that. And we had to wait for all our 4 drivers because Ford had 4 cars that were going to pass here. with different drivers than the ones that we met on the previous clip, the ones that we were interviewing. And if you've been watching the video up until this far and you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, like. I truly appreciate your support. I must say again, if it wasn't for your support and me being serious about YouTube once again, I wouldn't be where I am. So take a moment to subscribe, and I thank you. Also prepared us some lunch, some biscuits and some food nibbles that we could enjoy, and of course a Moroccan tea. After that, we're already now on our way back to Casablanca, because most of us were flying from Casablanca, but some guys that were flying to Europe were flying from a different airport than us. This is one of the landscapes and one of the beautiful bridges I've ever seen personally, and I thought it was really cool for me to give you a bit of a POV. It wasn't just us who were driving to that. We're going to be checking in at the Radisson in Casablanca, and I thought it was one of the cool hotels. So stick around for the last 2 minutes so you can see me checking in there. Morocco has a lot of police on the road on this day. Well, they had so many police on the road because apparently someone important from the government was going to be passing and using the very same route. Also, I realized that they have the latest Renault Sanderos, and like I said, there's a lot of Renaults, but I also picked up a couple of BMWs on the route. So this is the hotel. So this is my room in Casablanca. This is the last night in Casablanca. Beautiful, clean, fresh smelling hotel room. It's not huge, but I love the wall art and the color combos on the walls. And this is the bed. And this is Radisson Blue in Casablanca. All the photos I've taken with the people that I met on the trip, and some of the snaps that I thought you guys would be interested in seeing. Thank you so much for watching, and catch you on the next one. Tango!